Kimberly, who is your favorite disco diva of the 70s from the sweet 70s soul band A Taste of Honey?
My favorite disco diva of the 70s is Janice Marie Johnson.
And what's your favorite only one disco hit as a disco one-hit wonder of 1978 done by her along with that band?
My favorite disco one-hit wonder by her, with the band, A Taste of Honey from 1978 is Boogie Boogie Boogie. But first, the interview, then the song.
Hey, this is Denise Surrett back with LadiesBehindTheBeat.tv, and we are so excited to have the legendary Janice Marie Johnson from A Taste of Honey with us today. Wonderful singer, composer, bassist.
Do it good.
Come on and get that. Dancer, actress, entertainer.
You left off one title, which is the most important.
Which is?
Mom.
And a mom. I mean, we are here in your home studio, and I'm just in awe of all that you've achieved in your tremendous career. Tell us, how did you get started with A Taste of Honey?
End of 1971, first part of 1972, after its predecessor disbanded, which was a group called A Taste of Honey, which also consisted of 2 girls and 2 guys. It was a vocal group, I think, which had been together all of 3 or 4 months. And the purpose of that group was to do only original songs, in which we were hoping to get a record deal. But since we didn't get one in 3 or 4 months, the other members got a little, tired of waiting around, and they quit. And during that time period, though, I was always fiddling around with the bass. So we decided, Perry and I, who was actually Perry Kibble, he's my main influence as far as learning to play bass. He was playing the keyboards with that band, with the group A Taste of Honey, helping arrange our vocals. And when that group disbanded, we thought, well, why not just go do some gigs, just the 2 of us, Perry on piano and me on bass. And so we did. We went around, I won't say gigs because we weren't getting paid, it's more like talent shows and stuff like that. So we did that for maybe about 6 months, and then we decided we needed a girl. So I told Perry I had the perfect girl. And at that point, I went out and got Carlita Dorn. That's actually how it was formed.
Now, why the bass, though?
Early on, I was dating a percussion player, and I was just in awe of his talent and so forth, so I decided I was going to be a percussionist. And the other thing was that it hurt my hands. So I saw a bass for $20 in a pawn shop. I said, I'm going to play that instrument, because I was always naturally attracted to the low end of the records.
Do you have other instruments that you play?
Bass is my main instrument. I do play string bass, so it's been a while since I've played it. I studied string bass in college, and I won't tell you how long ago that's been, but let's just say 1972 or so. I do play acoustic guitar, play a little bit, enough to write my own songs. I play drums enough to teach my son's children how to do it. So I'm mainly a string instrument person. Anything with strings, I play the koto, guitar. You name it, if it's got strings, I'll make an attempt at playing it.
Well, sitting next to you is that fabulous little prize that so many musicians spend a lifetime trying to achieve. And you did it very early on in your career. Tell us about the Grammy Award there.
I could not believe that they called, and the winner is A Taste of Honey. I thought I would die, and I'm oversensitive. My date for the evening was my mom. And I think we had like maybe 3 Kleenex between us. And when they called my name, it was just like immediately I was choked up to here, she was choked up to there, the waterfalls flowing from the eyes, because we had performed on that show that evening, and we had rehearsals the day before and earlier that day, I should say, and they never said, and the winner is. They would rehearse the orchestra so that the orchestra was sharp and able to play the song of whoever the winner may be. And they never said A Taste of Honey. So we said, well, it's such an honor to be here. What we practiced was how to smile when they did not call our name. We wanted to at least be gracious losers.
Right.
So they called A Taste of Honey, and I mean, I was just blown away. My mom was blown away, I was blown away, my family was blown away, and it was a great experience.
And that was a pretty magical award there. Tell us what that song achieved.
Well, we were nominated that year. Taste of Honey was nominated for 2 awards: Best Vocal Performance by a Group or Duo, as well as Best New Artist. And I was nominated along with Perry as Best R&B Songwriter or Best Songwriter. I forget the category. So there were actually 3 nominations that I had that evening. And when Capitol Records told us that we had been nominated for a Grammy, the overall feeling was that we weren't going to win. So when they called our name, it just blew our minds. Here we were the first black group to have won a Grammy.
And not only
for
that,
Best New Artist of the Year.
For Best New Artist.
Now there are other people that have won in the R&B categories, obviously. But as far as Best New Artist of the Year, I believe Natalie Cole had won that a couple of years prior to us. But as far as a black instrumental group, we were the first.
And so you broke records, not only with getting the award, but in sales. Talk about that.
Well, let's see. We were on the road. Boogie was released in April '78. And we were opening up for the Commodores. LTD was on the show. Confunction was on the show. And A Taste of Honey. So we went from playing 300 seaters to like 22,000. There was nothing to prepare us for the magnitude of the success that we were about to achieve. I got a call from Larkin Arnold, who was the A&R, head of A&R, vice president of A&R at Capitol Records at that time. He's the one who signed Maze, Natalie Cole, Minnie Riperton, A Taste of Honey, along with other groups of that era, Tavares and so forth. He said, "You're #1 in Billboard. Congratulations." I said, "Great, great. Tell me something. What's a Billboard?" I had no idea. Like I said, we were dealing with the Chitlin circuit, basically club to club, and the USO and the Navy tours around the world. I didn't know what the Billboard Awards were. I had no idea. So, I mean, the success was shocking and very stressful. Because the thing is, when you come out #1, when you hit #1 so quick, where do you go?
Exactly right. Where did you go? A Taste of Honey had great success during that time, and you got to see the world playing your instrument. Talk about that.
We traveled to Thailand, Taiwan, Philippines, Africa, Spain, Africa, by the way, Morocco. Taste of Honey got kicked out of Morocco. Most people don't know this story.
Why is that?
Well, because young guys will be young guys, and they couldn't control themselves. Let's put it nicely.
Well, on the positive note, though, I'm sure that the world was just amazed to see 2 beautiful women playing instruments. I mean, what was the reaction like in other places?
Well, a lot of skepticism, mostly. A lot of times the reaction was mixed. I wasn't sure whether the people just were not into us or whether they were mesmerized by the fact that we were playing the instruments. And that actually, that type of reaction is what created the song Boogie Oogie Oogie.
Oh, well, tell us about that.
Yeah, Boogie Oogie Oogie, most people don't realize, was one of the last songs added to the A Taste of Honey LP. We were playing Norton Air Base in San Bernardino. We had learned all the top 40 songs. I mean, spent hours and days, even made some new outfits, And we're going to knock these people dead because we were so pumped up. We had a record deal, and, we're going to play every hit song there is. So we get to the stage, and we're playing all these great songs, Earth, Wind and Fire, Ohio Players. I mean, we're jamming, and no one is dancing. Being the sister that I am, I got a little attitude. My neck started to move and put my hand on my hip and said, "Look, if you're thinking you're too cool to boogie, we've got news for you. Everyone here tonight must boogie, and you're no exception to the rule. So get on up on the floor, because we're going to boogie, oogie, oogie till you just can't boogie no more." I was amazed. People got on the floor. We hadn't even started the next song yet, and people got on the floor. We got back to the hotel room, and I'm listening to the show, and I'm hearing that part, which by then I had forgotten about. So I took my bass out, I started messing around with it, and I called Perry. I said, "Perry, come check this out. I think I have a song." And that's how Boogie Oogie was written. I'm Janice Marie Johnson of A Taste of Honey, and you're watching Ladies Behind the Beat.tv.
Ladies Behind the Beat.tv. Ladies Behind the Beat.tv.
This is Denise Surratt, and we're continuing with part 2 of our interview with Janice Marie Johnson from A Taste of Honey. And we have the wonderful singer, composer, bassist, dancer, actress, entertainer. As Grammy Award-winning Best New Artist of 1978, you achieved something for Capitol Records that no other group has.
Actually, A Taste of Honey, believe it or not, sold over 1 million copies, 2 million singles, which was the first platinum single in the history of Capitol Records. Even the Beatles didn't have a platinum single.
Wow.
You believe that?
That's amazing.
Unbelievable.
What is that like?
You know, God is good. That's all I can say. For me, it's really amazing because I remember so many people discouraging me. You're not a writer. You're not a singer. You can't sing. That's one of the reasons I picked up the bass too, because I felt I wasn't a great singer, so I needed something to compensate for that. But I was discouraged by quite a few people. You can't write songs. What makes you think you can write? And for me to end up with the song that's #1, end up with the songwriting nomination, that just goes to show you, do what you believe. You know, and those who are putting that negative energy in your world, get them out of your life. It's contagious. Hear it on the radio, you'll hear it on television, commercials, you'll hear it in different movies or advertisements for movies, you'll hear it, you know, it's everywhere. And that's worldwide.
Yeah.
So I'm mighty thankful. I mean, from between then and now, it's been over 30 years.
Tell us about some of the other things that you do in the community.
One of the things that I do is I'm on the board of directors for the Sheenway School, which I've been for years. In fact, I am the president of the Sheen Educational Foundation. My first mentor, other than my mom, I won't say my first, my second, Dolores Quinlock Sheen from the Sheenway School, which is a school in Watts. It's been there for 35 years now. One thing that people don't know is that Sheenway also has a school in Ghana. She actually, I like to say, well, the honest truth is, she rescued me and my sister Sharon. She had come to the school and sponsored a talent show when I was 10 years old. And I remember the first thing I said to her, because Sharon and I, we were already singing, doing talent shows in the backyard, charging 25 cents to get in. But, you know, I wanted to be a star. So I went up to her and I said, can you make me a star? All bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. And she just looked at me and she said, well, you can be anything you want to be, but it's going to take a lot of work, so let's get started. And right then, right there, you know, she said, let me see what you do. And she said, shake it bigger, shake it harder, big steps, you know. So that's how it started. Okay. In 1981, I was teaching our little black kids Nihonbuyo, Japanese classic dance. In fact, we were the first black Japanese dance team that participated in Nisei Week, which is a festival in Los Angeles I think it's August. And there we were, all our chocolate girls dancing, doing our little fan dances. You know, it was fantastic. Sukiyaki is one of my absolute favorite songs to perform. That's right.
Now, many people may think that your heritage is Asian, but really, you're part Native American. Would you talk about that?
To set the record straight, there's no Japanese in me that I know of, even in spite of the fact that when I went to Japan the first time, my bio said that I was half Japanese. I don't know who told them that, if they just assumed that. If I go to Taiwan, I'm half Taiwanese. If I go to the Philippines, I'm Filipino. I mean, people, I think they just say this for conversation. I don't know. But just so you know, I'm black and Native American.
But surely you embrace all the ethnicities that have loved and supported you over the years.
You know what? If I didn't, I wouldn't be dancing their dance.
That's right.
Whatever country I go to, I study the native dance. It's, you know, it's just part of who I am. One thing a lot of people don't know is that you can find me on the Powwow Trail. I am also a Native American jingle dress dancer, so I compete in the dance contests at various powwows. My heritage is Stockbridge, Muncie, Mohegan, which is out of Boulder, Wisconsin. After I finished the dancing in Gallup, New Mexico, I was so taken by the love and energy that I was receiving, because people were very warm. The elders would come up to me and say, you know, I feel your energy, I feel your heart, welcome. Welcome home, sister. Until the Eagle Falls has got to be the quickest song I ever wrote, which lets me know that I had nothing to do with that. That's just God at work.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's an amazing video. I mean,
oh, thank
it's
you.
such a beautiful surrounding, and
Thank
you could
you.
really feel the spirit within you coming out.
And that particular song has won quite a few awards. I won a Native American Music Award, Silver Arrow Award for that song. That was an incredible experience.
Tell us more about who were the ones who really helped you get the ball rolling.
Well, you know, there are so many. I mentioned Mother Sheen from Quinlock Dolores Sheen, Jeannie Jackson of Cold Artists, Howlett Smith, Smitty, very important. Howlett Smith was my first vocal teacher. We call him Smitty. He is the one who wrote "Let's Go Where the Grass is Greener, It's the Last Day of Summer." He wrote those two songs, one for Spanky Wilson and the other one for Nancy Wilson. He was my vocal teacher, who was really very, very much an influence in my ear training. Sitting around, thinking about you.
So where do you go from here, Janice?
Hopefully up. No. Where do I go from here? Well, you know, I feel blessed in that I'm able to make a living doing what I enjoy. 'Cause if you really love me, honey, I know that you'd be here this day. So, but in the future, you know, I'm working with my son right now. My son, Sean Paul, is very talented. We're in the studio recording some of his songs in hopes of getting them covered by a few other young artists.
What would you say to give advice to a young musician now?
The only advice that I can give to a young musician is to understand the contract. I was a business major in college, and my thing is know where the money is, know what the contracts say, understand the language, take a course, get as much information as you can about the best way to protect your finances.
That's really good advice. So as a successful composer, performer, artist, vocalist, and we can also add fashion designer to that list. I know the best is still yet to come. And thank you for writing such a great song that we can get our boogie on to for generations to come. So thank you so much for being part of Ladies Behind the Beat.tv, and we will see you again.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.